The Watch. Chapter 15. This look familiar? After another hour of fishing, they headed back. The swells had died down, but Hector was still suffering. The 2-hour ride back was difficult in another way. It was the looks and stares from everyone on the boat. Groups were gathered, the largest concentration around the detective fisherman and his wife. She was quite animated with gestations, frequently pointing back at the cabin. The detective would intermittently hold forth the watch. For public viewing, every person on the boat had seen it. Hector sequestered himself into a corner area, avoiding eye contact, only wanting to dock. The watch he could care less about. If the detective kept it, fine with him. People under their breath were voicing statements like, "The chair's too good for guys like you, or hope you rot in hell." Hector did not retort back. What would be the point? The crew and customers were ready to pitch him over the side. He thinking, this bruja, this pissed-off Caribbean queen, has fucking destroyed my life with this watch. Pulling into the dock, Hector saw 2 police vehicles, one a plain-clothed detective car and the other a squad car. He knew they were not there enforcing fishing laws. He resigned himself to another interrogation. The first ones off the boat were the detective and his wife, both immediately engaged with the officers. The watch was handed to the 2 detectives. The wife was again vigorously off-gassing, with even more animations and finger-pointing, all back at the boat, toward Hector. Hector was one of the last to get off. One of the detectives stepped up to him. "Mr. Mercado." He held the watch out. "This look familiar?" Hector shook his head. The detective continued. "We heard a very interesting story, and it was all about you and this watch." He extended it to Hector. He did not take it. "Okay, Hector. Let's cut to the chase. Rosa?" Hector shrugged his shoulders, heaving a great breath. "I bought the watch for a lady. She rejected it. I was sure it had been cursed or something so decided it had to go into a volcano or the bottom of the ocean."
Huh?
The other detective smirked and shook his head.
Lay on the ground!
Smiling at Hector. "Now, Hector, that does make sense. I can understand the logic. A cursed object. Your life under pressure. It's gotta go." The other interjected. "Hector, I'm guessing this Rosa, what's some babe? You were watching for a while?"
Copy. Go ahead.
The questioning went on for a while. Hector knew he had to make the right move or police would be at his front door. Now, not only a sicario, but also a suspected serial killer trying to get rid of a cursed trophy. Hector held his arms out. Okay. You think I killed Rosa. You think this entire story behind this watch is a sham. He pulled his phone out and dialed up Rosa's personal cell phone. The phone was on speaker. All 3 police were intently listening. She answered. Hector was quick, explaining he was being questioned by the police, who believed he was responsible for her death. Rosa gave a laugh. One finally broke in. "What about the watch?" She laughed again. "Not that again." She explained how Hector had purchased it as a Valentine's Day present, but she had sent it back. Hector immediately saw the police's suspicion meter drop down to 0. The conversation went on for a while. Finally, they seemed satisfied with his answers and handed the watch back to him. Hector's only plea was that he was married and did not want this to be revisited. He whispered, "Guys, I couldn't help myself. She's all I thought about. I love my wife." They assured him, as far their suspicions, they had been alleviated. On the drive back, it was on the seat next to him, sequestered in the distinctive yellow case. He was now afraid to look at the thing. He thought about leaving it on some corner bus stop or something, but shuddered. Maybe it would wind up where it did not want to be, on a wrist it was unhappy with, and by some diabolical means, it would find its way back to him, most likely via the police. He recalled his conversations with Ernie, who had been emphatic. An object like this will continue to plague the person till the object is utterly vanished, or where it is desired, loved, and it feels at home. There it was, the volcano or a happy home. The volcano was out. He was flummoxed. Where in the hell would this thing be happy? He would discuss this with Ernie and make the move. He knew Ernie was good at this psychic computation stuff. Hector was sure a solution would be forthcoming. Hector's biggest fear was exposure, of his desire for Rosa to gratify his sexual aberrations. It would be ruin beyond ruin if these fantasies were to be made public.
That's it!
He wanted this thing gone. He was living in fear of this watch.
Copy. Go ahead.
He turned, staring at the box on the seat. Daddy has a new plan for you. I know you're calling out for a place where you belong, a place where you are cherished. Well, me and my buddy Ernie are going to deliver this reality for you. Getting home, it was disappointment. All were expecting an ice chest full of fresh fish. Hector didn't have so much as a single anchovy. He relayed how he had forgotten to take the medication, leaving it in the room, and hence subsequently subjected to an ordeal. Seasickness. He was emphatic he would not undergo this again. He did say, watching the fish being caught was exciting, but this was his last ocean foray. He, of course, did not mention the story about his actions actuating a police investigation. That next day after work, he was at Ernie's. He laid out the event, adamant this thing was cursed. To Hector, this thing was pissed that it had been rejected by 3 women, and now, as Ernie had suggested, it needed to find a home. Until it found this abode, it would keep cropping up in Hector's life with increasing unpleasant ramifications.